So I looked at the effects of climate change on caribou populations in Alaska. Some background on caribou in Alaska. For the past few years, scientists have been seeing that there has been an increase in caribou mortality because the abundance of forage plants now peaks before the caribou arrive on their summer breeding grounds. So they don't have a chance to get the peak forage and eat during that, which decreases their breeding and also increases their mortality. The methods I used were that I collected caribou observations in Alaska from 2017 to 2020 using observations from iNaturalist. I then compared these observations to increasing global temperatures and changing growing seasons for plants that act as some of the main sources of food for caribou. After these methods, I came up with this figure, and as you can see on the left it says the number of caribou identified, and on the bottom it's the years that the caribou were identified. So as you can see in the figure, from 2017 to 2018 there was a decrease in observations of caribou in Alaska. However, then there was a spike in 2019, but that correlated with an increase of forage because it wasn't a record year of heat. It was about the same temperature as it was the year before, which allowed more growth of the caribou. But then there was a significant decrease to 2020. It was caused by a decrease in forage as well as an increase in mortality of the caribou. So they were not able to breed as readily as previous years. Even though 2020 has still not finished yet, in previous years, especially 2017, 2018, and 2019, the caribou were only observed mostly throughout May to September and a little bit of October. So since we've already surpassed those months, we can ensure that most, if not all, of the observations of caribou have been recorded for this year. So that's why it is such a significant decrease, because we know that there's not going to be much sightings left. So, for our discussion, the results from the figure are mostly consistent with our hypothesis, and the population increased from 2017 to 2019, even though there was a little dip from 2017 to 2018. However, after the spike in 2019, there was a significant decrease in caribou populations in 2020. So overall, the population was decreasing. However, there was a spike in 2019. This can be described because iNaturalist has two recent data to show a trend between deaths and climate change, and so it might not be too accurate on that front where the observations don't correlate with the actual population of the caribou, because iNaturalist is only limited to the people and their observations. So there might be more caribou in places where people are not located in Alaska, especially since Alaska is very vast and there's not a lot of people living up there. So we don't know the actual population of the caribou due to this iNaturalist data, which makes it a little bit biased. And the data doesn't include other possibilities. So even though climate change may be affecting caribou populations, it is also affecting other populations. And so it is bringing moose up to forage on caribou forage. Other animals could be foraging on their plants and food. There could be an increase in prey on caribou populations. So because of the decreasing caribou populations, it could be because of predators, an increase in predators. It could be due to a bunch of other things. So our naturalist data is not kind of the best data to look at because it is only limited to certain things and it is sort of biased in a sense. But the data that we found did conclude, for the most part, that caribou populations in Alaska are decreasing. And this is due to the effect of climate change, increasing temperatures, and decreasing forage. And that's all. Thank you.